Hello everyone. In this new section, we will learn about DOM events. So we will discuss about what add event listener, which type of event listener, and how to call them, and how to use full in real life. So first of all, let us create one another folder and let us give DOM events. Inside that, let us first of all create one HTML file and first of all run our HTML file in browser. So let us change title to DOM events. And what is event? So first of all, let us create JavaScript file event intro and then give 101.js. So DOM event listener. So that means listen some event. Listen any type of event. Any type of event. We will discuss what type of events, and after that then when we click or call any event then any action to be performed. Let's say we click a button, then we know that when there are one form and when we click the button and all details are submit and also show pop-ups your form is submitted. Let's say discuss about click event. When I click on any button or any element, HTML element, then some action will be happen. Some action will be happen. There are also hover event, key press event. We will discuss in upcoming videos. But now let us here click button, add button and give ID ETN and submit. Now inside, let us when we click the button then some event will be happen. So for that we have one method add event listener. Here add event listener. So for that here listener. So for that let us first of all fetch the button. Here my button is equal to document dot query selector and inside pass by id button. Side by side let us open our HTML file. So now when click on my button then some event should be happen. So first of all let us console my button. Before that let us we need to here add script tag. So here script source and give file name event intro 101.js and pass defer. So now open our console and you can see that button is clicked, button is displayed, and after that let us add event on click event. So for that select my button dot add event listener, and here there are two arguments. The first one is which type of event, so let us give click event, and after here we need to pass function. Inside function let's say console button clicked around, and then here is add event listener and it gives two parameters. The first one is event type and another is function. Inside function we will put in our logic when click on this button. Now you can see that let us refresh, and when you click on submit then you can see that it displayed button clicked, and also you can alert. There are one another alert method and you can use button clicked. So now you can see that it will alert message shows button clicked. You can see that button clicked. And also you can inside put logic. Let's say let a is equal to 10, let b is equal to 20, and alert a plus b. Now you can see that it gives 30. So here is the basic logic, but in upcoming videos we will discuss more about that. So here is the brief video about event listener, and in upcoming videos we will discuss more about on that. Hello everyone. In this video we will discuss about hover event and also this keyword. So before that, let us create one another file hover this and 102.js. After that, side by side, let us here open HTML file DOM events. So first of all, let us run our HTML file inside browser, and we have one button, submit button. So after that, let us comment this script file and attach another script file, script src, and give hover this 102.js and use defer keyword. So now before that, let us create one another div and give id. You can use shortcut keyword like hashtag and give id name container, and inside div we use lorem 100. And after that, let us here hover event. So when user hover to this div, then it will alert message displayed div is hovered. So for that, let us first of all fetch this div. So using const div is equal to document dot query selector and pass here id. Id is container. Let us console first of all div. So it give whole div, and after that use div dot add event listener, and here pass event type hover, and callback function takes function. So pass functions and alert message displayed you hover on div element, and now you can see that let us and hover is not working because of there is method name mouse enter. So now you can see that you hovered on div element. You can see that you hovered on div element, and also there another method there mouse leave. So when you leave out of the div, then it will display. You can see that when I enter then not display, but when I leave then it display hover div. So first of all mouse enter. So hover is not working, but their method name mouse enter. So for that you enter inside div, and let us create one another event div event listener mouse leave, and you exit from div. And now you can see that when you enter the mouse you enter the div inside, and when you exit then it will see you exit from div. Let us use here console so you will better understand. let us use here console. And so let us I enter and leave. So you can see that there are two messages printed. You enter and exit from the div. So here is for the hover event that called mouse enter and mouse leave. Now let us add here dark mode. So for that, let us when click on button, then change the style of our div. So what is we do? We add here script tag. So for that, const btn is equal to document dot query selector, and here use btn id. So hashtag btn, and after that btn dot add event listener. Here use click method, and inside function let us pass, we have div already. So div dot style dot background color. Here div dot style dot background color would be black, and after that div dot style dot color is equal to white. So let us go to the, now you can see that when I click on submit, then style should be changed for this div, and when I click on another time, so that will not happen. So what we can do here, we can add let I is equal to 0, and here I plus plus, and after console I. So now go to the console. So when I submit, then it does not work, console I. So I want to this two line add inside event listener. So now you can see that 1 2 3 4. So let us here add a condition. If I percentage 2 is equal to 0, then add this effect, else div dot style dot color is equal to black, and div dot style dot background color is equal to white. So now you can see that, let us here add toggle. So when we click toggle, so now you can see that it will change the style, and when after another time I click, then style is also changed. So here is a dark mode, and when we click one more time, so it is on the original mode. So we can achieve this doing also css. So for that, we in previous video we created one any style for particular div, and we can access here class list dot toggle, so it will also correctly working. So let us that method also check out. So for that, let us here add style sheet link and css style. Inside css style, here let us fetch the container by id and give this background color should be black, and color should be white. After that, let us add also here button dot add event listener, and on click here pass function, and let's say we directly add that I plus plus if I percentage by 2 is equal to 0, then we have div. So for div dot class list dot toggle and pass here, let's say change the name and container here should black. So do container black. So now you can see that. So let us toggle. So it will not working. Here we should pass the class list. So here we should add here class list. So now you can see that now it will correctly working. So let us add another, comment out this part, and now you can see that it will correctly working. So here is some approach how we can manipulate this text content and color style dynamically. So one method is we can give style inside JS file, and another method we discussed in previous videos about class list, how to access element and add the class. What is this keyword? So we already discussed in some previous videos while we learning about functions. So let us console this. So these refer to these functions. So inside that, let us see what is printed. So after click on toggle, you can see that at line number 40 the button is fetched. So this keyword is referred to this button, you can see that. And when you click on div, let us also add event listener to this div on click, and after that pass functions, inside functions console this. Then let us now click on this division. Now you can see that at line number 44 it denotes to whole div, you can see that. So here is about this keyword and mouse enter and mouse leave event, and how we can change style dynamically using event listeners. Hello everyone. Before move to the form handle, in this video we will discuss about how to handle multiple events. So for that, let us first of all attach another script file here. So here add script file and give name multiple events 103.js, and here use defer. So let us here create division div id my buttons and create button into 3. So here is 3 buttons and give separate id is 1, then give id 2, and then give id 3. Let us create one more another button and id set to the 4, and here button 1, then button 2, then button 3, and here is button 4. So first of all let us add the all buttons. So for that const buttons is equal to view all buttons is equal to document dot query selector, and here pass id my buttons, and after that let us pass whole button tag, and let us first of all console all buttons. So inside that you can see that multiple events 103 button 1 query selector all, we need to select all buttons. So now you can see that it gives not list of 4 button. So also you can check this is array or not is array and pass all buttons, and it will give false, so that means this is object. So for that let us apply for loop. Let button of all buttons, and first of all here add button dot add event listener, and after pass the function, and let's say here give alert message and pass click done. Now you can see that when I click button 1 click done, when I click on button 2 it will also click done, button 3 click done. And first of all let us give some style. So here use id and display flex and give flex direction column, and after that provide width 20%, and after let us give gap 20 pixel. So top margin top 20 pixel. So now it is correctly working, and after that let us here alert this keyword. So now you can see that when I click on button 1 so it gives object html button element, so it refer to the object html button. And when you click on this dot text content, so now let us click on button 1, so it will print button 1 and it will print button 2. After that we can also apply for loop. For let I is equal to 0, I less than all buttons dot length, we have length property, and I plus plus inside for loop all buttons here pass I, and we can also add event listener on click and pass the function, let's say alert message here alert message and this dot text content. So first of all let us comment this for of loop, and you can see that it will also working in traditional for loop. We can also apply for each loop, so let us quickly discuss about that also. So it is revision for us. All buttons dot for each method, and here pass the function. Inside function we give button and we add each button add event listener, and let us click after pass function, and let us use here alert this dot text content, and now you can see that button 2 button 3 is printed. So here is the way how we can add multiple events and handle. So here is the way that we can handle multiple events using for loops. And after that, let us discuss about what is event and event.target. So here, what is event.target? So it is helpful while you work on React or Angular or any other framework when you need to handle form. So for that, let use for loop, let button off all buttons, and after pass add event listener, use click method, and then inside this function we need to pass e, that means event. And first of all, let us console what is e. So first of all, let us click on button 1, and now you can see that event has this type of uh, methods like alt key, altitude, then bubbles, client x is primary. You can see that. And when you click on target, you can see that inside target this will fetch current button. So let us display e dot target. Now you can see that when I click on button 1, then it will fetch button 1. When I click on button 2, it will fetch button 2. So here is the event e dot target. You can also here use event full name. So event. So it will same things. It will fetch the button, and after that you can also write text content. So now you can see that when I click on button 3, then it will fetch button 3 text, button 4, button 2. So here is some approach when you can select multiple buttons and handle multiple events on that. Hello everyone. In this video, we will create one user form and user data store into local storage. So for that, let us create one HTML file, form.html. Also, let us create one CSS file. We give basic style, form.css, and one create form104.js. So first of all, inside HTML file, here give user form, and inside body tag, let us give id container, and inside div use h2 user detail form, and also let us give id heading. And after that, here add form tag, and we do not use actions, give id user form. This id will need inside javascript file. So let us give div and class form group, and inside create one label and for first name, and here write first name, and after add input tag, type of text, and give id first name, and give name also first name, and here field are required, and also give placeholder, enter first. Let us give only first name, and let us copy this div and paste twice. So here is for last name, and here last name, and also id is last name. So let us here camel case for name, and after that third one is for email, and type is also email, and name is email, and id set to email, and here last name, and in this placeholder email. So after that let us create one button, submit button. So here submit, and give type of submit. After that let us add one JavaScript file, script into src, give form 104.js, and use defer keyword. We already discussed in previous video why we use defer keyword, and also give style sheet, so for basic styling, and form.css. So let us first of all quickly open our form.css and give basic style. So for that select the body and use font family, here font family Arial, and after that select the container using id container, and give width of 400 pixel, and then give some margin 80 pixel, give padding 20 pixel. First of all let us open our HTML file inside browser. You can see this detail, and after that let us give border. Here is the basic style, 1 pixel, solid, and black, and after that give border radius, let's say 5 pixel. So here use border radius. Now you can see that, so now it is looking good. And after that for h2 tag let us give text align center. Now it is looking good, and after select the form group, and give display block and margin bottom 5 pixel. And so now let us give style to the input text. So for select input we have two types, type is equal to text and another is mail. So here write email, and after that let us give width of 100%, and also give padding, let's say 10 pixel, let's say give 8 pixel. So after that give border is equal to 1 pixel, solid, black, and also give width 90% of their parent view, and give some border radius 3 pixel. So now it is looking good, and after select the button and display block. After that give width of 100%, width of 100%, add padding of 10 pixel, and then cursor pointer, let's say give width 90%, let's say use color hashtag FFF, and background color, let's say use hexacode 007BFF. So now it is looking good, and let's say give width 95%. So now it is looking good, and after that when we hover the button button dot hover, add hover effect. So for that, let's say change background color, use hexacode 0056B3. Now also you can check out color for this amazing website coolers.co, and inside this website you can find any of color inside explore palettes, so you can see that different type of color with hexacode. So now our form is looking good. So now let us move to the JavaScript file. For that, so we all topics covered in previous video, so for in this video we will revise that. So first of all, let us fetch user form. Const user form is equal to document dot query selector, and here pass user form, and after that user form dot add event listener, and here event type is submit, and give callback function here event. We already covered in previous video what event returns. So for that, let us make event dot prevent default. So this is prevent form submission, and after that let us use create one form data, new form data, and user form, pass the user form. After that, const create one empty object, and let us use for loop that we covered in previous video of our for loop series. So here pass key and value of, and pass form data dot entries, and after that we have user detail and store value that user enters, and after that here const json data and use json dot stringify and pass user detail, and after that this method is convert object to json, and let us save json into our local storage. So we have one method local storage dot set item, here give user data and pass json data, and after let us alert this message alert user data stored successfully. So let us open console, let us give first name Aniket. So let us change the label here last name and email, as the Aniket Panchal, and email ID, let's say aniket@gmail.com, and click on submit button. So it alert message shows user data is successful. So go to the our local storage. So go to the application, and inside local storage you can see that user data is stored first name Aniket, last name Panchal, and email aniket@gmail.com. So here how can we store? So let us go through this form data. We created new object of form data, and let us also console key and value. So after that, go to the console and let us enter data once again, aniket@gmail.com. Click on submit. Now you can see that it gives key with value. Key is first name, last name and email, and our value that we can add here, Aniket, Panchal and email ID. And after that we convert into string and store into local storage. By local storage, set items. So here is the practice video of our DOM events and as well as DOM methods. So in next video we will more discuss about other event listeners. Hello everyone. In this video we will discuss about different type of event listeners. Before that, your feedback is valuable and important for me. So if this course is helpful, then please put a review and ratings. And now, first of all, let us discuss about one by one events, and here add break line and after make horizontal line. And first of all, let us start this HTML file, and after that let us add this new file, and we discussed some events one by one. Events 105.js, and after put defer keyword. So here let us fetch document. We work with directly document, then document dot add event listener, and let us pass key press event, and inside functions let us console key pressed. And now go to the console, and now let us press A here, A, so it shows key pressed. And now let us put Z, so it will ties key pressed, and we want to specific key, then also we got this. So here is pass the event and also console event. Now I press A, you can see that it gives object is true, and here you can see that this key is A, so what we press this, so let us here pass this key. Now you can see that if I click A, then it prints A. If I click B, then it prints B. So here how we can track the any key value. And another add event listener is key up, key down, scroll, resize, let's say key down, and pass the function console key down press. So first of all, let us comment out this code, and I enter key down, so it gives key down press. If I use key up, then also you can see that key down pressed. So after that, let us discuss some other events like scrolling. Document dot add event listener, and here pass scroll function and console scrolled. Now it gives error. Why it gives error? Here not a function, here function, so that's why it gives error. Let us console scroll. So when I try to here scrolling, and let us go to the console. So for that, let us here pass some content. Let's say give p tag lorem 1000, and after that when I scroll, then it gives scroll button. This functions is triggered. And if you want to more about event listeners, then you can go to the MDN website. Let us give scroll event MDN and then JavaScript. Now you can see that it is element scroll event. So here you can see that there are too many number of event listeners: copy event, cut event, double click event. So let us try with copy event. So for that, document dot add event listener, and here pass copy, and inside function let us console you copied content, and after that let us refresh this page, and here let us console select and control C, and inside console now you can see that you copied content event is triggered. And also let us pass here event or E, and also console event, that what inside event we can see that. So before that let us copy, and inside console here is the clipboard event. Inside clipboard event there is key value pair. You can see that types of item, event phase, scroll element, and here is also you can see that source element and target element. So we copied p tag, so that's why here shows p tag. You can see that. And here is the inner HTML what I copied, and also inner text. Let us event dot target dot inner text. Now you can see that what I copied it will displayed. I copied, so this p element is fetched. You can see that. So here are some events, and also you can explore some more events inside this MDM doc. So in next video we will more discuss about event propagation, event delegation, and event bubbling. Hello everyone. In this video we will discuss about event bubbling and event propagation. This is the most important topics while you facing this JavaScript related interview. So what is event bubbling and event propagation? That means also event capturing. So I created event.html, CSS file and JS file. Event bubbling and event capturing. That means propagation. Here propagation. So before that, let us discuss about what is event bubbling. Its name says it bubble up the event. So it is the mechanism when new event occurring on nested element triggers the sequence of element handler of its ancestor. So event bubble ups. Event bubble ups. In simple words, when you when trigger any event, then it's bubble up to the root element, And what is event propagation? So event propagation, that means this process which event are handled and passed along this DOM tree. So it is, let us discuss about event capturing, that means propagation. So here is the way of where opposite of event bubbling. That means when event trigger to the any particular element trigger, then start from the root element and after at the end goes to the targeted element. It is useful for nested element for tracking the any element. So let us understand by one example. Here pass events, and after that let us here created dot parent, and inside parent dot child, and inside child let us create also one button, and here click button and pass the class btn button. Now you can see, now let us first of all give some style. Before that, start our, not this file, start our html file. So let us start html file, and first of all let us give some here style. So for parent, background color red, and also give width 300 pixel, height of 300 pixel, and after that give child, and here background color blue, width set to the 150 pixel, height set to the 150 pixel, and after that let us add here css file and pass event.css, and also add javascript file event bubble and propagation 106.js and use defer keyword. So now you can see that this is the parent element, child, and button. So here is the nested component. Let us give add parent, give child. Now you can see that parent, child, and button element. So first of all discuss about propagation. So for that let us fetch the parent, child, and button. So const parent is equal to document dot query selector, and here pass parent, and also we want to fetch child and button. Document dot query selector, and here pass dot child, and also const button is equal to document dot query selector, and here pass dot btn. And now let us discuss about propagation. So first make functions for propagations. So let us const, not a const, use here parent dot add event listener, and here pass click event, and inside function let us console parent capturing phase for parent, and here is the another parameter. You can see that when I hover on add event listener, then you can see that here are the options, that means boolean value. When we do not give any value, so that means it automatically fetch the event bubbling phase, but when I give true, then it behavior as a event propagation. So for that let us give and make for our child division and give for button. So use here btn, capturing face for here button, and here pass child. So let us go to the file inside console, event propagations. So when I click on button event, then you can see that it fetch capturing face parent, capturing face child, and capturing face button. You can see that use event propagations. So event triggered then start from the root element. So what is the button's parent child, and child parents are root element. So here root element is parent. So event start from parent element. The first parent is triggered, then child's event, and after that targeted element, that means button. When I click on button, you can see that parent, child, and button. And when I click on child, you can see that parent and child. So here is the way of event propagation. You can see that. And what is event bubbling? So let us make functions for that. Here copy paste the code, and when I do not give any parameter, or let's say give false, that means this by default is event bubbling. You can see that. So here is the bubbling phase and bubbling phase. Now when I click on button, that you can see that the first is capturing phase, all capturing phase are triggered, and after bubbling phase are triggered. So let us comment this propagation part. Now when I click on button, so you can see that event bubbles, that means targeted element to the root element. You can see that when I click on button, the first button event triggered, after that child's events triggered, and after that parents events are triggered. And when I click on child, you can see that first child is triggered and after that parents. So when I event bubbling, then any events triggered and goes up to the root element. So here is the propagation and bubbling. By default, when we use any event listener, so that means they are from the bubbling phase. You can see that when I do not give, and we want to capturing, so that means we need to pass parameter true. Now you can see that when I click on button, so the capturing phase starts parent child button, and after that bubbling phase is also goes up to the root element button, child, and parents. So here is the brief video about event bubbling and propagations. In upcoming videos, we will also more discuss about on that. So if you have some face any issue or any doubt regarding how bubbling works, propagation works, then feel free to ask and put it into comment. I will give response as soon as possible. And yeah, that's it for this video. In next video we will discuss about event delegation. Hello everyone, in this video we will discuss about event delegation in JavaScript. So this is the most important topic aspect of interview, and as well as while you working on projects, then it is also helpful. So first of all, what is event delegation? In simple words, let's say we have another list of 100 items, and also we want to fetch particular elements by some events. So let us say click event. So we need to put 100 event listener on each element. Rather than using, we use only one event listener to the parents and track the all text or HTML elements. So let us first of all, it is technique to single event listener is attached to the parents, and after that Why useful? So first of all, it's improve performance. Let us understand by one example so you can better understand. Here add ul tag and give class list, and let us here give li into, let's say, 5, so it prints 5 li tags. So here list 1, and after that let us copy paste. So here add 5, 4, 3 and 2. So first of all, let us here attach our JavaScript file and then run our HTML file. Event delegation 107.js, and here use defer keyword. So let us start our HTML file inside browser. You can see that it is 5 li tags. So first of all, here add our functions. So we do not pass event listener to each element. We only pass the event listener to the parent tag, that means list. So fetch the list is equal to document dot query selector, and here use dot lists, and after that we add event listener on click, and here function, and inside functions let us pass event. Now if event dot target dot tag name is equal to li, then console clicked on and pass the text content. So here event dot target dot text content, and let us go to the HTML file and click onto list 1. So you can see that it prints list 1, and first of all when I click, so you can see that list 5, here is list 4. So let us here console what is events. So you can see that when I click on list 2, then you can see that it click on list 2 and it gives object. So inside event we have here target and tag name. So inside target, here you can see that tag name, where is tag name, there are, and also you can see that here is the text content and tag name. So we compare by tag name. If li, then prints the text content. You can see that it is also another method on scrolled, on resize, but here is the event delegation, where you can attach all the event listener to the each element. Rather than using that type of method, we can only use to the parents, and we also track to the element. You can see that inside console, let us click on for, so it gives for. So here is the brief video about event delegation. Now upcoming section we will discuss about asynchronous JavaScript.